So far, the 2004 World Cup hasn't gone as well as the Czech and Germans had hoped. Both teams have stumbled out of the gate, losing their first two games. The Czechs, however, gave hope to their countrymen with a late rally against Sweden. And the Germans showed they still have plenty of fight in them against Finland. All it will take is that one spark to get either team going. Find out who starts their fire. Germany and the Czech Republic next. Germany and the Czech Republic, day 5 of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. Great to have you with us, everyone. I'm Bill Pito along with Barry Melrose. Tonight on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern, it's Team USA against Slovakia. Barry's here, and Canada's not even playing.
I'm an American citizen, Bill, and unlike the American team, I work every day.
I want passport proof.
I got it right here.
Pool standings as we get you ready for hockey. As Team USA is 0-2, we have Finland and Sweden unbeaten. Canada's unbeaten. Germany and the Czech Republic each 0-2. Out now to J.P. Dellacamera and Brian Engblom to get you ready.
Well, after 5 periods of hockey, we still hadn't seen the real Czech Republic team, but they showed up, Brian, in period number 3 the other night against Sweden.
It was ugly early. For the first game and a half, the Czechs never got anything going offensively, but they finally did, and I thought it was the defense that made the biggest difference. Hammerlick ended up with 6 shots on goal, and Zidlitsky scored the second goal of the game. And tonight for the Czechs, they'll get Milan Hajduk back in the lineup. In my mind, one of the 10 sweetest pairs of hands in the entire world.
As for Germany, they're very young and inexperienced, and as a result, they've made a lot of mistakes that have cost them in 2 games.
And they can't make any more mistakes because they can't score very many goals. They've given up 2 power play goals in each of the games that they've played so far. They're used to playing on a bigger ice surface. They're going to have to make their game smaller. This smaller surface is 15 feet narrower. They haven't adjusted yet, and they've got to do a better job.
Germany and the Czech Republic each looking for their first win of this tournament. This is the final day for these 2 teams in the opening round. The winner will get 3rd place in the upcoming playoffs.
And the loser, Barry, will be the last seed. How big a problem is that as they get ready for the single elimination tournament?
Well, that's not really a surprise. Everyone basically the foregone conclusion that Germany was going to be the last seed, and everyone was fighting for the right to play Germany in the first round. It looks like it's going to be Finland or Sweden play Saturday night for that reward. Czechs have been the biggest disappointment so far in the series to me. They haven't competed. They've got so much talent. The stars haven't shown up. Milan Hajduk was even a healthy scratch last game, one of the top goal scorers in the NHL. So this team has to show me something today.
But Hajduk is ready to go today, and we're getting ready as the Czech Republic and Hajduk will go up against Marco Sturm and the Germans. That's coming up. We're back with more talking about the labor strife after this. Bill Pito and Barry Melrose back in the studio as we get ready for Germany against the Czech Republic in World Cup action. In the meantime, in the NHL, Barry, labor talks going nowhere. 3 days of meetings ending yesterday. No progress reported. Last night, Gary Thorne talked with the NHL's chief negotiator, Bill Daly.
Salary cap seems to be a term that you'd like to just put on the moon somewhere maybe and forget about it. Is there a way to get the cost certainty thing done from a league's perspective and not call it a salary cap?
I think there is, Gary, and again, we made the 6 proposals we made. Only one really involved a team salary cap. All others were ways we thought we could achieve cost certainty without having a salary cap kind of concept. The Players Association defines salary cap a little bit differently than we do, but even the 6 proposals we made, we didn't even have a linkage between player costs and revenues in one of them. So again, we're trying to be as creative and work as hard as we can to reach a deal.
After the last 3 days meetings, are you ready to come forward with another proposal to take to the league for the next meeting in Toronto next week?
I don't know the exact timing, but there will be another proposal that'll come forward from the players. It's going to be responsive to issues we've been identifying in the last few weeks, but it's not going to be a framework that includes a salary cap. It'll address all their concerns, but if Gary Bettman remains determined to get a cap, unfortunately, he's going to be proceeding with his lockout.
Barry, a cap works in the NFL, it works in the NBA. How come the NHL players want nothing to do with it?
Well, because it'll put a drag on salaries and not let salaries continue to go up. But the problem is the players and the owners don't agree on terms. They don't agree on the term cap. They don't agree on revenues. Players think it's one thing, owners think it's another. So until these two sides can start trusting each other and agreeing on terms and agreeing on what revenue is, it's going to be a long time before we're playing hockey, I'm afraid.
Much more on the labor situation coming up after the first period. In the meantime, Jaromir Jagr, the Czech Republic, getting ready, taking on Germany, the World Cup of Hockey coming up. Stay with us.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
Our Toyota World Cup of Hockey coverage continues from Prague in the Czech Republic. Germany will be in the white uniforms with the black trim, and the Czech Republic tonight will be in red. We get to see Milan Hajduk, who was a healthy scratch the other night. He may be flying tonight, Brian.
It's still a really interesting situation for the Czech team. There was one player who preferred to remain nameless, who was going to be scratched for this game, went into the coaches and said, absolutely, positively, no way am I being scratched. They put him back in the lineup. So that's the kind of stuff that's been going on for the Czechs the entire playoffs, this tournament so far. And it's just really a strange environment is the best way I can describe it.
Prospel will take this draw with Jágr on his right, Marty Straka to the left. Don Koharski will be dropping the puck, one of the two NHL referees working this game tonight. Also in there for the face-off will be 21, Stefan Ustorf. We're still making a few announcements here before this one gets underway. Final game of the opening round for these two teams. Sweden and Finland will play tomorrow to see who's going to be the #1 team in the European pool.
Well, we would expect in this game that the Czechs will have the puck most of the time. They've got the firepower. They've got a lot more talent. The Germans can't afford to make many mistakes, and they certainly can't take any penalties because their penalty killing just doesn't come up to snuff.
Hecht and Feichel are the wingers for Rustov. This one's underway. Czech Republic taking it to the left side. Caberlet plays it across rink. And the Czechs start up ice. Lead pass pushed over. Straka's after it on the left side. Jágr got there first, behind the net. Muscled off the puck. Jágr stays with it. Poke free. Straka. Jágr tried to tip it in front. He had Prospel there. Vinny Prospel had 6 shots on goal the other night. Dumps it in behind the net. Jágr and Straka both there. Two longtime Pittsburgh Penguin players. Prospel dug it out, and that escapes the blue line. Caberlet is back on it, on defense with Yuri Slager. Thomas Caberlet with it. Teams change on the fly. Too far for Prospel, who's now going off on a line change. No Olaf Kolzig in goal tonight. Instead, it's Robert Mueller. We'll see how he goes tonight. He was the Olympic goaltender for Germany in 2002.
Marcel Gottsch is a healthy scratch for the Germans as well. He just a little bit tired, I think. They want to save him for that next game. Very important, the most important one.
Yep, that's the game they have to win, that quarter-final game. All teams in both groups advance to the quarterfinals. Over the line, but when he left it, quick shot, Elias, gloved by Mueller. That's his first test, and he handled it.
Well, he's going to see a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of rubber coming at him. The Czechs look like they have some jump. This is a beautiful building. They're finally at home. This will be their only time they'll be in this building. So the Czechs are out there. They know it's their puck to lose, and they're on the attack from the outset.
Chyanek in for the draw. He wins it back to Hammerlick. Hammerlick's backhander off a skate in front. To the corner it goes. Renz plays it off the boards for Germany. Germany's able to clear it out, and here they come at center. Broken up there quickly. The Czechs turn it back in over the line. Big shot, tough angle, was blocked. Retzer muscled along the boards, enabling the speedy Hajduk to pick it up.
Even little turnovers like that by the Germans in the neutral zone, if they have a chance to get it by the defenseman, it has to go by the defenseman. It's those small little areas seemingly a long ways from your own net. You get turnovers, it's bad trouble.
Germany, the youngest team in this tournament. USA, if you're wondering, is the oldest at over 31 years of age. This German team averaging under 27 years. 4 players battle behind the net, behind Vokoun, who's played in the previous 2 games, and now Hammerlick takes it. Holds along the boards, now feeds out. Across the line, Dvorak, a healthy scratch last game. Try to center it out. That's an errant pass that goes into the neutral zone. Czech Republic getting it back, trying to change, nearly had too many men out there. It goes behind the net to Mueller. And Germany will start out, not going anywhere fast. An errant pass intended for Marco Sturm, who has one of the 2 Germany goals in this tournament. He's tied up along the boards. Slager, backhander is blocked. Germany keeping the pressure on here with a flip, hits the side netting. but is still rolling. Germany with some high pressure here. They played last night. Good legs at the start of the period.
They can skate. They can skate. The Germans work extremely hard. The problem for them is they don't have enough skill guys in their lineup to do it shift after shift. If you try to get any puck control, you have to try to sustain it when one line gets tired and changes. And that's where Germany really falls off. After the couple of big players, NHL players that they have, after they're off the ice, a lot of times the Germans coming out to follow them spend the entire time in their own end.
Germany will take it over in the right wing. And that pass is picked off by Zidlitsky. Up ice, here are the Czech Republic. Quick shot is stopped there by Mueller, and it hit the netting. So there'll be a face-off coming up. ESPN2 is your ticket to more great World Cup hockey tonight at 7 p.m. when the USA wrap up their first round of action versus Pavlo Dimitra and Slovakia. Team USA looking for their first win, having scored just 2 goals in their first 2 games. They'll look to use that home crowd in St. Paul to help jumpstart the offense. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey here on ESPN and ESPN2 as that shot goes in wide from the Czech Republic, and now cleared down ice, length of the ice. This is going for an icing call as the touch is made. Scoreless here with over 16 minutes to play in the first period.
Yeah, no surprises so far. The Yager line with Straka and Proskol been out there a couple of shifts already. They pretty much dominated. They've been in the offensive zone most of the time. And you can tell the Germans are just so worried when Yager comes out there. They've got both feet headed backwards towards their own end. They got maybe one guy up ice who's willing to go. And if he loses the puck, there's nobody with him.
Lewandowski tries to move it up the wing. Comes back behind Mueller. Near boards flip high off the glass, and that hit the netting actually over there on the side. So there's another face-off coming up. That's Christian Ehrhoff, one of just a handful of players who have played in the NHL for Germany. He belongs to San Jose. And Franz Reindl is the man in charge, trying to figure things out. He knows he'll be playing Monday or Tuesday, depending on how this game goes. Hamrlik's shot goes wide. Even a tie will get the Czechs third place. And they would face the second place team on Tuesday. Off a deflection near boards. Czech Republic playing it to the left side. Elias backhand flip in front. Verborny gave it away. That's Havlat. Couldn't lift it over on the backhander beyond Mueller. Hamrlik. Round the boards. Czech Republic possessing. At the circle. Havlat lays it off at the left point. Dumped it by Mirek Malik. Verborny gave that puck away, snapped along the boards and cleared out by Abstrider.
Havlat, Verborny, and Elias, really good looking line. Elias was playing with Sikora in the first game, and they were 2 longtime teammates with the New Jersey Devils, but they just didn't get any chemistry going. I think the Czech team was just looking for a little different feel, so it's a good combination there with Verborny and Havlat.
That's Hader from a tough angle. Mueller's got it, and he holds on for a face-off with just under 15 minutes to go in a pretty fast-moving opening period.
Of all the guys that the Czech team can put up front, one guy we haven't talked about much is Robert Lang. Robert Lang was a no-show for the Czech team, one of the most skilled guys in the world. He had a chance to win the scoring championship in the National Hockey League last year. He got injured, even though he was traded from Washington to Detroit, and not having Robert Lang hurts him because he's so good in all facets of the game.
A 4-0 edge in terms of the shots on goal for the Czech Republic, but it's scoreless here. Third game of this preliminary round for these two teams in search of their first win. Along the boards. Czech Republic with 2 men down low. Trying to get it as Hader in front. And checked off the play on that far side as Germany's able to clear it out. Neutral ice. Sturm over the line. Lets it rip. That's the first shot and a save by Bokun. Germany's first shot. It took them almost 6 minutes to get it.
And Marco Sturm got it. I mean, that's one of the guys that they want to get scoring chances. He's looked really good for the Germans, and he really is their #1 gunner. They've got to get him scoring chances.
Hadik left it off and looked to get the return. Mueller steers it around the boards. Kept in by Zidlitsky. Looking, still looking. Poked it out in front, but it's deflected. Zidlitsky again. Nashville Predators defenseman couldn't keep it alive there, but he has help at the point. Into the corner it goes. Centering pass. Mueller got the big goalie stick on it. Germany trying to clear. They can't. They'll go the opposite way. And off a tip, it'll go all the way down ice. Icing is the indication as the Czech Republic get to it first. There's an icing and a break in the action. It's scoreless in the opening period of play. Toyota World Cup of Hockey coverage continues from Prague in the Czech Republic. Scoreless opening period. Czech Republic have it off that face-off win. To the right point it goes for Zidlitsky. Around the boards, Dopita being bothered there by Ustorf. Czechs play it to the near boards. At the left point, Spacek, a healthy scratch last game, battles to keep it on that line. Broken up. Here's Heck coming back 2-on-2 over the line. Quick lead pass for Heck is broken up. Kept it at the point by Renz. Germany looking to find Feichel in the slot. He'll turn around. Easy shot, easy save for Vokoun. Back toward the point. Germany trying to keep it in, and Spacek breaks it out. Over the line. The Sakura feed. The Dopita touch pass failed. And actually it sends Germany back almost on a counter. Hammerlich jumps it over the line. Big shot wide of Mueller. And it escapes the zone.
You can see the difference in the passing between the two teams. The Czechs are just way more efficient. They can move the puck at least 3 or 4 times without turning it over. The Germans, in most cases, one guy starts stick handling. If he makes the one pass, they're doing well. The second one usually goes awry, or the Czechs do something about it to get it in the way.
Vokoun making that stop off the shot from the point. Mirko Ludeman.
Well, Thomas Vokoun has been busy at times in this tournament, and other times he just hasn't. He's played really well. His numbers don't look really good because they haven't won a game yet, but he's played better than anybody else on the team consistently. And you look at his save percentage, he's only got a save percentage of about 85%, which is extremely low for him, but that's just really the way the tournament has gone for him. It certainly hasn't been Vokoun's fault that they haven't won a game yet in this tournament.
Czech Republic bang it off the boards, neutral ice. Germany getting it back. Zeidenberg played it across rink. Possibly a break here. Quick shot, though, is stopped by Vokoun. He'll hold on for a face-off. Lewandowski had the chance.
Well, that was a good play. They knifed right in the zone. The Germans can't afford to miss chances like this. Really good penetration. Not a really good shot selection, though. That was a pretty easy save for Vokoun coming out 4 or 5 feet up above the paint. You got to make a better shot than that. It looked as if there wasn't even a lot on it, but at least the Germans made a good play there and cut the seam in between the two Czech defenders.
Havlat trying to set Elias on the off wing. Elias, nice drop pass. Vaborny with good speed. His shot steered away by Mueller from a tough angle, busting into the off wing.
That's a smart shot by Vaborny. Vaborny busted in with terrific speed. He threw it right in the goaltender's feet, hoping to get a rebound, but Mueller kept it aside.
Havlat almost got it back. Vaborny looked for Havlat, just off on the passing. Havlat of the Ottawa Senators leaves it for Elias of the Devils. And that's broken up, cleared by Germany. All the way down ice. Vokoun quickly. He saw Germany changing up, and very slow at that. Now it's dumped in, and the Czechs are able to change. Up ice, dumped in by Kopitz. Vokoun leaves it there. Zidlitsky to the right. Lead pass. Czech Republic breaking. That's too high for Dvorak, busting in. Sturm, breakout pass, possibly here. A chance and a save by Vokoun. That's his best play right there, stopping Martinez.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that Vokoun has done for the Czech team. That's a complete breakdown by the Czechs. And this defense pairing has not done very well for the Czechs. Zidlitsky and Spacek have not played together yet. Spacek didn't play in the first game, and his communication with Zidlitsky simply is not there. You can't afford to let a guy walk in cold like that. Vokoun really bailed those two guys out there. I wonder if they'll change that pairing for the Czechs.
Czech Republic holding it behind Vokoun. Still have better than half the period to play in the opening period. Shots are now even at 6. Remember, at one point it was 4-0 in favor of the Czechs. Neutral ice. Feichel. Over the line. Left side. Chayanek's feed is blocked. Flipped away to the left point. Hammerlich shot tipped over Mueller. And there's a break in the action. Fans, September 7th, you can make a difference by showing your spirit. Just wear your favorite team's apparel to work that day, and in exchange, each participant can make a donation of $5 or more to the V Foundation and help benefit cancer research. Anyone can participate, including schools, companies, and individuals. Join ESPN and many others by declaring September 7th Show Your Spirit Day. For more details and to sign up, log on to www.jimmyv.org.
The Germans are coming on here, done a much better job in the last couple of shifts of taking some of the play away, getting some puck control, and starting to mount something.
Vlasic checking in as Zeidenberg in the corner. Loose puck knocked down at the point by Caberlet. That'll be a hand pass, though, and that's why the whistle. Scoreless here in the opening period. Germany and the Czech Republic. Toyota World Cup of Hockey coverage continues on ESPN with Brian Engblom. I'm JP Delacamera. Scoreless opening period. Czech Republic and Germany. Last game for these two teams in this opening round. The playoffs for each begin next week, either Monday or Tuesday, depending on where they finish, third or fourth. Czechs pick it up. Dopita centering pass cleared by Germany, and here they come. Could be a 3-on-2 as they break. Dumped in, though, off the stick of Vokun. Retzer in the corner for Germany. Flips it around the boards. That's Caberlet. Thomas Caberlet skates it up ice. Toronto Maple Leafs property, shoots it in from center. Around those boards, Germany trying to clear it out, and they do. Zidlitsky takes a hit. And Germany's able to dump it. And change now on the fly. Spot check left side. Strange dump in there, cleared away. Up for Kopitz. Sturm over the line, and it's an offside. ESPN and ESPN2 bring you more World Cup of Hockey action Tuesday as the quarterfinal round action gets underway. Brian and I start things off at 1 Eastern in either Helsinki or Stockholm for the number 2 versus number 3 seed in the European playoff. Later on ESPN2 at 7 p.m. we'll showcase one of those North American quarterfinals. It'll be Team USA if they finish either second or third in their pool. So join us for full coverage next week. Over the line, it's dumped in by Martin Straka for the Czech Republic. Flipped around the boards by Germany. Bad clearance. Zidlitsky fires it. Glove by Mueller with traffic in front. Quality save and a big slapper from Zidlitsky.
The Czech Republic seems to really be pressing to try and get a goal and get some confidence and really get rolling. They're the type of team that feels like once they start feeling the flow and it starts going, they know they can just build on that momentum. But right now, the last few shifts, they've been pressing and they've lost a lot of their structure. It's left some openings, especially in the neutral zone, and those little mistakes are giving the Germans actually an edge, and they're getting more puck possession.
Feichel trying to take it in deep. Flips it around the boards. Czechs play it to the right side. The Yager pass, an errant one. It allows Feichel to keep it in, but that shot is wide. Ustorf sent it in as well. And Germany's able to keep some pressure on. Hecht goes after it, far boards. That Yager giveaway has allowed Germany to stay right there deep in the Czech zone. Flipped in front by Hecht, and that's stopped. Hecht again. Jochen Hecht looking. One hand on that stick, trying to come around. Finally, Yager gets it again. He's tied up, but got it free to Marty Straka. And now it's dumped in. Both teams trying to change. Germany flips it in deep. Still have better than 7 minutes to go in this fast-paced opening period as Germany dumped it in. They still have a player trapped in the zone.
You can see how the field has changed, though. That last shift for the Yager line, he spent the whole time, Yager's line spent the whole time in their zone. That was the first time in this game so far that happened.
Faceoff will be to Robert Mueller's right side in the Germany zone. Vaborny comes in for it, won it back off a deflection. Hammerle keeps it alive. Zeidenberg for Germany around those boards. Elias kept it in play in the offensive zone, but it's coming out now. Blocked by Marek Malik. Lewandowski dumps it in deeper. Booz was after it for Germany, number 73. Flip pass out of the zone. Zeidenberg of the Philadelphia Flyers organization, right side to Kathan. Czechs getting it back.
Zeidenberg's done a good job for the Germans. He's still a young man. He's got parts of 2 seasons in the National Hockey League with the Philadelphia Flyers. Very young guy, and they put him in a position of big-time responsibility out against the top players every night.
Vaborny and the nice touch pass from Elias, who breaks for the net. Vaborny along the boards. Germany can't clear. Hammerle kept it in apparently right there, but now Germany will take it over. Kathan pass in the left wing. Retzer dumps in behind Vokun. He settles the rolling puck, plays it to the far boards.
This is typical of the German structure, too. If they don't have a chance to get in, you can see how they all fall back. They send one guy sort of at the Czech blue line, and all 4 guys are back. A 1-4 setup for the Germans. They've done that a lot in international hockey.
Caberlet with it. Right side, Slager. And here comes Dvorak over the line. The former New York Ranger. It goes in wide, centers it in. Hayda couldn't jump on it there in the deep slot, and instead Germany comes out with the puck. 2-on-2. Going wide, dropping it there. Quick shot. Nice save by Vokun.
He fought that one off, but that one fooled him a little bit. He was sort of punching in that one, but it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it. The Germans continue to find seams, though.
That one is deflected out of play. It is still scoreless here in the opening period from Prague. Back in Prague, Marco Sturm getting ready to take this face-off, going up against Opita, who wins it back cleanly to Zidlitsky. Under 6 minutes to go. First period, Czech Republic and Germany. Scoreless here. Vlasic left it off. Touch pass picked up by Kopitz. Germany again will dump it in. Trying to get some offensive flow in that zone, but instead have to battle for it there at the point. Vlasic starts out. Gains the center line, finds Sikora, who dumps in. Peter Sikora after it. 4 players are there, including one underneath the loose puck. Well, apparently they can see that puck still moving. No whistle. Still free. Renz has his man pinned along the boards. Spacek shot knocked down by Mueller. Vlasic kept it alive. And now it's finally cleared by Ehrhoff. Both teams can try to make the change, and they do.
You know where the Germans have really improved since the last game we saw them is in front of their own net. They're playing extremely tough, and they got a lot of guys in there. I mean, they're really filling up that hole in the middle of the ice. It's really tough. Oh, there's one. That was one of the few times. But the Germans have done a really good job playing physical there, and they're playing much more physical in the corners and behind their own net than they did in the first game of the tournament.
4 players battle along those near boards. Puck is still alive. At the point, Hammerlick, former #1 pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's broken up. That's Hecht going wide. 4 players in that offensive zone there for Germany. Ustorf checked there by Prospo. He has the puck free. Ustorf with a shot, tip save off of Feichel's shot by Vokun.
Ustorf was the guy going to the front of the net there. And if that pass is good, it should be a goal, but the pass was too far behind him, and that's where the Germans just don't have the skill to make those finely tuned plays.
Straka celebrating his 32nd birthday today. Happy birthday, Marty, in the corner hill battle. 4 players are over there looking for it. It's still free. No whistle. Out at the point. Slager's drive blocked by Mueller. Picked up by Zeidenberg. Along the far boards for Lewandowski. Got free. Finds Feichel. Neutral ice. Rolling puck settled by Germany. Here they come over the line. That's Lewandowski again. Cut up by Vaborny. In transition, Caberlet. Over the line. Havlat. Backhander in front. Save Mueller. And he covered it. The first save was a strong one, but how about the way he covers that puck?
Terrific job there. The Czechs are really good with their speed going on the attack. There was a penalty on the play. I believe it's going to be Robert Leask. That happened in front of the net because one of the Czech players headed to the front, got pulled down by Leask. It was one of those on-the-fly, high-speed, try to throw it right to the front of the crease and jam it home. But Robert Leask ended up pulling the Czech player down. So the Czechs get to go on the power play for the first time. And this has been the situation that the Germans have really been hurt in. They allowed 2 power play goals against the Finns and 2 power play goals against the Swedes. They can't afford that here again tonight.
At 16:52, the call is for interference. The Czech Republic, with all their great stars, 0 for 6 on the power play in this tournament. Played up ice. They were 0 for 5 against Sweden. Vaborny off those boards. The Czechs keeping it alive to the left point. Vaborny there. Milan Hajduk. At the left side, that's Havlat. Hajduk again at the circle. Vaborny moves it around. Pass from Caberlet. Spinning. Shot from the slot is cut off, and Hajduk is there. Into the corner as they cycle. That's Eliash. To the right point. Patrick Elias getting it back. Havlat. Hajduk. Power play on for the Czech Republic. Behind the net they go. Flipped in front. A rolling puck. Poked free to Baborny. He holds it there at the circle. Havlat leaves it for Hajduk. Milan Hajduk to Baborny. Far side it goes. Back to Baborny. In the slot. Now to Hajduk. They're looking for the perfect shot. Baborny out of the point. That was a pass, not a shot. Hajduk's pass there to Havlat. Crowd getting uneasy with all of this, and then the shot goes wide by Baborny. After all that, here's Caberlet. Now to Havlat. Just over half minute left in the power play. That's blocked in front. A loose puck. Mueller got a piece, not all, and finally it is tied up right there. With us breaking the action, let's head to Bill Pito and Barry Melrose in our ESPN studios.
JP, thanks. Coming up after the period, Barry, we're going to look ahead to Team USA's game tonight against Slovakia, and Ron Wilson with some major lineup changes. Breaking point for Ron Wilson. He's doing some shocking things. Some players that you never thought are going to be sitting out will be sitting out in tonight's game. We'll talk about it in the break. Now that's a tease. That's I'm even going to pay attention. Coming up after the period. Stay with us.
Back to live action in Prague. Mueller will cover it up with still some time left on the power play, but all of a sudden the Czechs are getting some chances here.
Chyanek's played really well for the Czechs in this tournament. This is one of the few breakdowns in the last 6 or 7 minutes, especially when the Germans being under pressure, that they were faulty in front of their own net, and they almost got there a little bit too late.
Czechs out shooting Germany 13-7, looking for their first goal, though. At the circle, Jágr. Straka and Zidlitsky working the points. Into the corner it goes. The Czechs holding it. Straka, 60 feet, in close to Zidlitsky. The shot off a skate in front. Kopitz clears for Germany.
We said that the Germans had to make their game smaller. They've been successful. They've done a really good job. You see how they're not aggressive at all. They're holding that tight box, letting the Czechs play with the puck on the outside, and the Czechs are getting frustrated. They want to push for a goal now.
Jágr to Spartak. That hit off the post, and Mueller's got it with traffic in front. Jaromir Jágr still looking for his first point of this tournament.
Everything's going the Germans' way right now. They really did learn their lessons. Their game is smaller. They're getting in the avenues. They're frustrating the Czechs. The Czechs are starting to get that feeling. You could just feel it here in the building. They want to show their fans. Their fans are pumped up here. The fans are loud, even though there's a lot of people missing at each end zone. It's kind of funny here. The upper reaches are completely packed. In other words, the cheaper seats are full, and the more expensive ones down low, there's nobody there.
Yep. All the way back comes Germany over the line. That's Hecht. Try to go around. Spacek who takes it, or Malik, I should say, in the corner. Merrick Malik trying to break up the play. Puck coming free. Past the two Germans at the point. Back in their own zone. This is Gotch of Feichel. Knocked down and neutralized by Malik. And it's sent right back in. Mueller is there to leave it off. Gotch has it. Flips it around those boards. Gotch and Lieskar, the two defensemen for Germany, banged off the boards. Stupina kept it in. Vlasic, nice move there. Bumped off the puck and cleared by Germany. Icing was waved off. Okun had it. Germany's been physical when they've had to be, especially in their own end. As the horn sounds, ending play in this first period. Germany and the Czech Republic are scoreless after 20 minutes.
After one period, Germany and the Czech Republic are at zip-zip. Robert Mueller in net there for the Germans, making a nice save. So no score after one. Bill Pito and Barry Melrose back in the studio. Germany 0-2, the Czech Republic 0-2, and not a whole lot to talk about in the first period.
Well, there is, because the Czechs are such a disappointment as far as I'm concerned. I think this is one of the 3 most talented teams in the world. They won the Olympic gold with Dominik Hasek in net, but since then, they just play with no passion. They're playing a German team today with maybe 5 NHL players, none of them stars. They're playing the Germans' backup goaltender. Kolzig's not even playing in this game, and yet they're not dominating the Germans by any stretch of the imagination. They just don't play with any fire, and if I was a Czech fan, I wouldn't be sitting in those lower bowls either in the expensive seats. I'd be watching from the cheap seats, because that team ain't worth a lot of money to watch right now the way they play.
Passionless
passionless Czech players right now.
And as you always say, you got to play with passion.
Will beat skill all the time, Billy.
Speaking about passion, there is a lot going on when you talk about the NHL labor situation on each side. 3 days of meetings ending yesterday, Barry, with no progress at all, and it looks like that a lockout is looming. Last night, Gary Thorne talked with the NHL's chief negotiator, Bill Daly.
Percentage that this season, #1, starts on time?
I don't want to handicap. I continue to hope that we can work really hard over the next 2 weeks and make some progress and move toward a resolution, and I want to get this done as soon as possible. I don't want to lose any hockey.
Are the league directing the teams or the teams on their own going forward as though there will be a training camp?
Yes, they are. A number of our clubs are still having rookie camps that open on September 9th, and they're operating basically business as usual, but everybody's watching. I mean, everybody wants this resolved.
Is there a way to come up with, let's call it cost certainty, as the commissioner does, something other than salary cap through that kind of a revenue sharing plan that might work?
Well, a revenue sharing coupled with a luxury tax has certainly proven to be very effective in baseball, and that's part of the framework we've been talking about with them. We're prepared to take additional drag on salaries in that type of system and raise enough revenues to assist some of the teams that need it, because the NHL right now has the least amount of revenue sharing, and we think it's an important component, and the players are willing to have luxury taxes that do have a negative impact on salaries. The only thing the players are not prepared to negotiate is a salary cap, yet Gary Bettman has made that the key issue in these negotiations.
So a stalemate with the clock ticking. Barry, how damaging would a lockout be?
Well, I think it would be very damaging because we're going to leave this World Cup on a high because it's going to be great hockey. We saw Canada, United States the other night. It was a fantastic game. The finals are going to be unbelievable. We're going to have the two best teams in the world playing each other on September 14th. It would be so great the next day to go into training camps on that high and just continue into the regular season. But right now, they're so far apart, they can't even agree on terms. They can't even agree on revenues. They can't even agree on what revenues are. I just don't see it getting done by the 14th. And I was the most optimistic person in the world probably until a month ago.
Salary cap works well in the NFL. It works well in the NBA, but the NHL players want nothing to do with it. Coming up, we're going to talk about Team USA. Tonight, they take on Slovakia. Last night, they took on Russia. Alexei Kovalev and the Russians won it by the score of 3-1. We'll discuss last night, look ahead to tonight when we come back. The pool standings, each country plays 3 games, and that sets the seeds for the single elimination round. So far, Team USA 0-2, losing last night to Russia 3-1. More from the guys who called the game, Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Jeremy Roenick.
Thursday night, Team USA, now they are 0-2. Why? Because Russia came away with the win. So we look ahead. Slovakia's next, JR. Now what?
I think U.S. just has to get a win now. They have to come out and just prove to themselves that they can win a game. They don't want to finish in that 4th spot, because if they do, they're probably going to have to play Canada. So they have to just go out and just get a little bit of confidence, get a win under the belt, and then see what happens in the next round.
Bill?
Question is, how do they do that? I mean, we talked about them establishing a more aggressive game. They didn't play in the other end in the offensive zone enough in the first period. They've got to get a better start to their games. Keep in mind, without Robert Esche, Team USA would have been absolutely crushed by both Team Canada and Team Russia. So that's a positive in a sense, but they've got to have better first periods. They've got to establish a game in the offensive zone, and quite frankly, they're not good enough in their own zone. And I think above all else, yes, winning a game would prove something to themselves, but also proving that they can play in their own end against this caliber of talent is something that they have to establish as well.
Who's got to step up, JR?
Well, I think you got to look at a couple of guys. I think Mike Modano, he played a good game tonight, but he has to step it up that one more level. Bill Guerin has continued to be a physical force, Keith Tkachuk, but I think most of all, you have to have 2 guys to step up. Brian Leach has to come up and show why he's been the best defenseman in USA hockey for so many years, and Dougie Waite has to come up, make some big plays, set up Keith Tkachuk, set up Bill Guerin, and get more involved in the play offensively.
Not going to be easy, though, because now other teams are coming out going, you know something, we can beat this team.
And that's why it's so important for Team USA to win a game. Now, even if it's against Slovakia for their next game, that's obviously important. But I'm not sure that they truly believe they can beat Canada or Russia, and they have to start putting that together now, and you can take at least a baby step against Slovakia.
Okay, that'll be the next step, hopefully, for Team USA to get that first W here in this World Cup of Hockey.
All right, guys, and Barry, Ron Wilson shaking things up. He has scratched for tonight's game Brett Hull, Craig Conroy, Eric Weinrich, and Brian Ralston. Why would he make these moves?
Well, 3 of the picks are easy picks and they're safe picks. Ralston, Weinrich, and Conroy. Those guys are on the board, or they're role guys, so that's not a big deal. But sitting Brett Hull really sends a message to all the star players on the American team that you guys aren't getting the job done. You guys aren't scoring goals. Yes, the American defense is weak. They've had some injuries. It's not the great defense of the past. So you got to score some goals to help this team out. You got to play two-way hockey. They're not doing that. Dougie Waite hasn't been good. Amonte has been non-existent. All those stars that were so great in '96 aren't showing up. So by doing this to Brett Hull, number one, he's going to set a powder keg off in that dressing room. He's going to try and get Brett Hull angry, get him motivated, not for the Slovakian game, but for when the medal round starts. So hopefully Brett will be in the lineup for the first game of the medal round, ready to play again, ready to score goals. So it's a wake-up call with the Brett Hull incident. I think it's a good move by Ronnie Wilson.
Kind of lose sight of the importance of this tournament in this country. How important is it to these players to do better and to succeed in the World Cup?
From a hockey point of view, this is the second biggest tournament up to the Olympics. In Canada, this thing is unbelievable. It's a matter of national pride. The Canadians want to win this tournament. They want to win every tournament. But this used to be called the Canada Cup. Now it's called the World Cup. Next to the Olympics, this is the biggest hockey event in the world.
All right. We'll remind you that tonight we will show you Team USA taking on Slovakia. 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Second period of Germany and the Czech Republic is coming up.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And ESPN 25 The Book, available now.
World Cup of Hockey coverage continues on ESPN. As you look at these Czech players, you see the number 21 on the jerseys of all of the players. They had the number on the helmets as well, in memory of their late head coach, Ivan Halinka, who died in a car accident in August, right before all of this was to take place. So had to be tough for this team. A lot of these guys, some had played underneath Halinka at various levels, so it's very tough for Ruzicka to come in and take over.
Absolutely, and Ruzicka was a good friend of Halinka too, and it's been really difficult for him. We're going to talk more about Vladimir Ruzicka, the coach, the interim coach here, as we go on in this period. It's been interesting what's gone on, the things he has done. This has been a kind of an unhappy, unsettled team, but that's not new for this team in World Championships in the past either. So.
Second period underway. Germany in the white with black trim. Czech Republic in red. Czechs outshot the Germans in the opening period, outchanced them, but have nothing on the scoreboard. It is scoreless here in the second period. Up ice they come. That's too far. Zeidenberg, first man on it for Germany, getting a lot of ice time in this tournament. Neutral ice. Germany getting it back, waiting for help. Ludeman plays it forward. Zeidenberg joining in the rush, in fact leading it. Had to poke that through one of the referee, Mark Jonette's legs. Along the boards, 4 players looking for it. A 5th joins, that's Yager. Vinny Prospel will play it up. Knocked away. Ustorf centers in the backhand. Backhand flip was stopped there by Vokun as Hecht was looking for one. Gotch keeps it in play at the point. Hecht fires and that's blocked, and the Czechs are having a hard time getting out of their own end.
The ice is not very good already. It is extremely humid in this building. It's been hot a couple of days that we've been here in Prague. Absolutely spectacular weather. It's got to be low 80s for fall weather. This is unbelievable. But for Jaromir Jagr and the boys, it's tough in this building. And you can see the water starting to sit around a lot. That's not good for Jags. He likes to handle the puck. He likes to be able to do the toe drag, get it in his feet, move it around. And that's going to be less and less possible as we go on here in this game.
Neutral ice face-off. Germany will get control of it. Leask will send it across ice. Lead pass is picked off and offside. Czech Republic on that quick turnover.
Well, game number 4 is the playoff game, and the Czech Federation, I know, is going to come to Vladimir Ruzicka if he wins and say, your tactics were to take 2 or 3 of your best players out of the lineup every game to play a game that is defensive. It has about 4 or 5 of your players ready to break out in hives, and you win. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But if he loses, they're going to come with that little white jacket with the sleeves that tie in the back, and they're going to take him away in an ambulance. One or the other. But it all depends on whether he wins that game 4.
Monday or Tuesday. Into the corner. Leask will play it. Baborny, breakout pass. On the off wing, Havlat reaches, lost it, centered it again. Back out to the right point. Zidlitsky holds, fires, it's wide. Elias taken down by Gotch. And a penalty is coming up here on Germany.
Well, Sasha Gotch knows this guy, Patrick Elias. They both played in New Jersey for a short time. Sasha Gotch has been playing defense in the German league the last couple of years, but he does know Patrick, and he knows he can't let him go. So he tied him up a little bit too well, right under the referee's nose. And a penalty for interference. So again, the Czechs have a chance here to get something going on their power play. But that last power play they had in the first period, the Germans did an outstanding job. I mean, they killed that penalty better than any penalty they've had in the tournament so far, by far.
Just announced that it's actually holding the stick on Gotch at 2:06. Shot in and caught there by Vokun. He leaves it off. So Germany shorthanded for the second time tonight. Czechs are 0 for 1 on the power play. And 0 for the tournament so far with a man advantage. Big shot taken, stopped by Mueller as he scooped it up off the Martin Straka drive.
That was really good execution there to get that one-timer shot. It forced the goaltender Mueller to go from post to post. He gets ready for this shot. Look at the goaltender. He has to move across for that one-timer. He does an excellent job, and he's way out above the top of his crease. He got a good look at that. But that's the best puck movement on the power play so far for the Czechs.
And what we've seen a lot of so far in this tournament, not 2 defensemen at the points, but really 4 forwards out there and 1 guy, 1 defenseman at the point. And Zidlitsky here. Straka's the other player. He's at the right point with the puck. Jágr holds it at the circle. Less than a minute and a half to go on the power play. Jágr playing it into the corner. Left there for Jágr, cycling. Now goes behind the net. Jágr goes the other way to Vinny Prospal. Right point, Straka moves it to center point. Zidlitsky shot to score!
This kid's got the touch. He can really shoot the puck. 14 goals last year in the National Hockey League for Nashville. He just got all of this one. When you take a one-timer like this, if it's in the right place, you take the momentum of the pass and you transfer it into your shot. You could see Mueller, the goaltender, was across and he tracked it well. He literally just blew that one by him right in the crook of the elbow on the glove side. So the Czechs get some momentum. They get what they wanted. Get ramped up a little bit here on their power play. And Zidlitsky, you really got to like the way this kid plays with the puck and without the puck, especially on the power play. That's become his specialty already.
The forwards are not scoring, but Zidlitsky, a defenseman, has goals now in each of his last 2 games. He is also a power play specialist. Led his team, the Predators, in power play points, was among the league leaders, especially among defensemen. At the near circle now, let's see what happens with the Czech Republic having the lead. In 7 previous games in this tournament, the team that scores the first goal has won all 7.
It's a really important sequence for the Germans here because the Czechs are going to come out with a big push. They can score again here real quick. The Germans will know it's going to be really tough for them because they have trouble scoring goals.
Hammerlick shot deflected in the deep slot. That's wide. Picked up into the corner. Chayanek let it go. Dvorak comes in. Also out there is Hayduk on that line. Chayanek held in the corner by Ehrhoff. It's kick free. Kopitz will take it. The crowd has come to life in Prague, energized by the Zidlitsky goal that came at 2:56 in the power play, and the whistle blows to stop play there with just over 16 minutes to go in the second period. Huge goal, though, for the Czechs.
One of the biggest problems for the Czechs every time they play in an international competition is they have to figure out what kind of style they're going to play. And the coaches have been after them to play a tight defensive style. They got beaten badly by a Finnish team in the first game of the tournament because the Finns are so good defensively and they drew this Czech team out of position. But there are a lot of guys. Peter Sikora, who is an excellent offensive player, said, well, we're going to sit back and play defense and try to pick our spots. He said, you know what, this game is going the wrong direction for a guy like me. And he just kind of shook his head. But that's the way he really feels, and he's not the only one on this Czech team.
Slager's shot is blocked. Maybe that's one reason why Sikora's been ineffective. He's looking for his first point, too.
Yeah, and he's had the puck very little.
Along those boards, far side picked up. Back come the Czech Republic, 3-on-3. In the deep slot, quick shot, scores Slager. 2-0, Czech Republic.
And I think Peter Sikora was listening to us because he's the one who started the play. And then Yuri Slager came late on the action. And the Czechs are really good at that. I mentioned Romer Hamlick in their last game and Zidlitsky, who were really effective in moving up in the play, both on the power play and on regular strength. And this time it's Yuri Slager, number 71, who comes in and gets in front of the German defender. Once you get on the inside like that, the German defender had no chance to get him at all. And the better passing, the pinpoint passing on that play allowed Slager to make that one-timer. So that's the killer instinct that this Czech team has because of the quality of the players they have.
Well, the two Czech goals coming about a minute and a half apart, 1:31 to be exact, on two straight shots, both by defensemen. One in the power play, Zidlitsky, the other with Slager jumping in on the play and making it work. 2-0 Czech Republic now, opening it up. Over the line, here they come. Looking for Elias, and it trickles in. Mueller will hold on and get a face-off. Face-off will be to the right side of Mueller.
Yuri Slager's an interesting guy. He's got a terrific personality. We were talking to him about how he tucks that jersey in on the back right side all the time. And we asked him if it was with it for a particular reason. Were you sort of emulating Wayne Gretzky? He said, no. He said, when I was a kid, I just wanted to be cool. He said, I think it's still cool, so I still do it. He said, I have to live up to my own reputation. And it was funny. No, I'm not trying to copy Gretzky. I'm just trying to be cool.
It's nice to hear a veteran say cool.
Yeah.
Neutral ice. Czechs have it. And here they come again. Left there by Havlat. Elias in the middle, looking for Viborny. Mueller there, and all of a sudden, Germany are really in trouble here with the puck in their own end. And the Czechs moving well. Coming back the other way. Abstreiter leaves it off. Tobias Abstreiter checked along the boards. Flipped around, far side for Jágr. Jaromír Jágr, neutral zone. Zidlitsky, he can fire. He leaves it for Straka. Bumped off the puck, and Germany just content to dump it.
Jaromír Jágr with a little bit of the shake of the head there because he was coming late on the play right down the slot. Straka saw him too late. Jágr all alone. Here he comes again.
Nice speed. Jágr's in. Backhander score. 3-0 Czechs.
An angry Jaromír Jágr coming late on the play. He had the first scoring chance and never got the puck. This time he made a huge looping circle in the neutral zone and came late with terrific speed. When you play at a high level, the guy that's the most dangerous in the offensive play is the guy moving the fastest. Jágr was moving twice as fast as any of the German players. And the German players, by the time they saw him, it was too late. And you can't give this guy time and room. Jaromír Jágr, in my mind, still the best and most talented all-round player in the world. The question is, does he want it? Does he want to be the best again? He wasn't the best last year.
Germany has called a timeout. You were speculating before about a key point after the Czechs scored the first goal that they could come back with more, and they've got two since then.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a good time to take it right now. The Germans played a great first period. They were very patient. They blocked up the middle of the ice, and they played tough. Now they're scrambling. Now they're backpedaling. They've lost all their physical aggressiveness, and that was just a bad read. That Jágr goal was just a plain bad read. Late, and he was coming with power. You could see it from up here from a mile away, and they should have been looking for it down there.
Off that draw, Czech Republic getting it back. They've exploded for 3 goals inside of 6 minutes. A very lively second period for them. Chayanek in the corner. Has some help down low. Dvorak comes in. He's checked there. Loose puck. Haydup couldn't wrap around. He was sent wide. Dvorak now to the corner to Chayanek. Near side boards. Dvorak hit there by Gotch. 4 players in the corner. Dvorak trying to get free. He and Gotch together again. Haydup bounced off that check, but Dvorak looking behind the net out front. Quick shot. Mueller's got that off Chayanek. No rebound as play is stopped. 3-0. Czech Republic leads Germany here in the second period. Well, we mentioned earlier 3 goals before 6 minutes had passed in the second period, but to be more precise, 3 goals in less than 3 minutes. 2:56, 3 goals on 6 shots. the Czech Republic finally making them count like we saw in the third period the other night when they scored 3. But that took them a long time, over 11 minutes compared to this.
That's what they can do to you, though. Once they get it going, they really feed on that frenzy. If you can keep the Czechs frustrated and keep them to the outside the way the Germans did in the first period, you can see they're a totally different team. When they get going like this, look out.
Fans, Labor Day weekend kicks off with a bang tomorrow as ABC Sports begins their 39th consecutive year of college football coverage. All the action begins at noon with the first of 2 regional games which involve both the number 2 ranked Oklahoma, number 17 Michigan, with more regional coverage to follow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. For fantastic college football coverage, tune in to ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series. Centering pass knocked down by Vokun. Booz flips it around the boards. Lewandowski's there. Can't make the play. Dopita playing it back for Slager around the boards. Slager and Zidlitsky, 2 defensemen, have scored for the Czech Republic along with Jágr. Sikora gets a step over the line. Big shot covered up by Mueller, and he hangs up. We saw the speed of Sikora that time busting in.
I was just going to say, we were talking about the fact that he hadn't had the puck very much and not much was going on for him in the games we've seen him play so far. He must have been listening to us. He's really got to go in his last couple of shifts. Peter Sikora, with the long blonde locks, looked like he's been watching the Tom Cruise movie, because he's got the big ponytail at the back. He looks like the Last Samurai, the blonde version.
Face off. Czechs get it. Havlat poked away, but the Czechs will keep it alive at the left point. A wrister goes in wide to the corner. Good hard check that time by Elias. It allowed the Czechs to keep the puck in, but now it's cleared down ice. Spacek is on it. He plays for Columbus.
You can tell all these good players for the Czechs now, they know they've got the Germans rattled. They're rattling their cage at every aspect they can. They're playing physical when they can. They know they got the Germans standing around a little bit, and so therefore that's a good killer instinct. Here we go again.
Oh, Vaborny nearly one-handed that past Mueller. Germany skating back up ice, and Ustorf was blocked at the blue line. Second effort blocked again by Zidlitsky. Havlat lead pass. Elias wrister. That's blocked by the defense and banked off the boards. Spacek getting it back to Marek Malik of Vancouver. Neutral ice. Tipped up. Jágr feeds. Played back in the slot area, and a hard check there. Straka was looking to see who hit him. Marco Sturm up ice. Big slapper is blocked. He'll get it back. Lead pass into the corner. And that one's blocked as well. Martinez was looking for it. He may get a go. He does. Pad save for Vokun. Kopitz. Martinez near boards. Trying to flip it. That's blocked. Martinez gets it back on the forehand. Looking for Kopitz. Lassi Kopitz, far wing. Martinez there. Less than 11 minutes to go in the second period, dominated by the Czechs, scoring 3 times in 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Here they come. 3-on-2. Jágr leads it in the middle. At the left side, over to Jágr again at the circle. Broken up there. And now cleared out by Germany. Making the play was Ludeman.
That was a good read by Ludeman. That's the kind of stuff they need. They want to get the puck to Jágr. Ludeman knew that, and he slipped over, was able to clear that thing before big number 68 could do any damage down low.
Caberlet, lead pass over the line to Dvorak's feed. Chyanik's shot stopped and held on to by the goaltender, Robert Mueller. There'll be a face-off coming up.
Robert Mueller's been under siege in the second period. He was fantastic in that first period. The Czechs could easily have had a couple of goals in the first, but they didn't. And now that the dam has been broken, it's been difficult for the Germans. And the Germans on their rush now, what's happening with them, they're not very good simply the few times they've gone up the ice, because they're stopping up and trying to make plays to late man coming or make fancy plays into the middle. The Czechs are taking all that away from them. The Germans are going to score, especially on the rush. They've got to take it deep.
Caberlet into the corner. Dvorak comes off those boards, takes the shot that's blocked and cleared the other way. All the way down ice. Icing is the indication. It won't have the legs. Caberlet got there first to Radek Dvorak. Breakout pass to the speedy Hajduk. He'll catch up to it. Milan Hajduk deep, stopped by Mueller. He hangs on. And that's Chyanik causing a problem in front of the net. 3-0. Czech Republic leads Germany here in the second period. Well, Trianic looked like he was the guy causing the problems, but Ehrhoff sits out 2 for roughing.
Just not good timing. It's not good for the Germans. I think the Germans are just trying to, defend their goaltender inside their own zone, but the Czechs back on the power play with so much momentum now. The Germans have to kill this off, or it's going to be an insurmountable lead.
Czechs 1 for 2 tonight on the power play with the Zidlitsky goal. It's a 3-0 Czech Republic lead. Looking for more. Far boards. Played out in front. Quick shot. There's the 4th goal. Hit him.
When you see goals like that get scored, you know that they're really starting to feel it. Just good, quick passes in the seam. There was nothing fancy or creative really about that. It was just good execution of hockey. And when you have a guy like Milan Hajduk, who I said before the game is probably in the top 10 in the world when it comes to just sweet hands. I mean, on one-timers, on shots, in crowds. This guy's terrific at traffic. He's great on the rush. This one, he just found a seam and went to the net. It was the release. He shot it so quickly, and it went underneath the goaltender. And I don't think Mueller ever really got a good look or certainly feel on that one.
Second power play goal of the game for the Czechs. 4-0 now. Germany in a huge hole. Played over to the near boards. Jager's over the line. Germany scored only 2 goals in this tournament, both against Sweden, both shorthanded. Neutralized. The Czechs back it up. That last period against Sweden and this period here, this is what we expected from the Czech Republic throughout this tournament. And right now it looks like, as the icing call is made, they will finish in 3rd place, barring a collapse tonight. But most people thought they'd go higher.
There's a good look at the passing play there. Look, there's 4 guys, but Milan Hajduk just goes into the seam that I was talking about, gets it under control, and fires it with those soft hands right low on the ice. I mean, there were 4 Germans that could have reached out and touched him. I think 2 of them did touch him, but you got to do better than that. You have to have the stick or be in the passing lane, the shooting lane of a guy like Milan Hajduk, and the Germans didn't. The Germans have to get back to their small game again, and they have to get back to being physical. They're trying to stretch the game out too much, and they're just feeling the shakes right now.
Face off, won by the Czechs. Along the boards, they'll come out. Roman Hamrlik of the New York Islanders dumping it in around the boards. Crossbow tried to keep it in, but that one was deflected out of play.
And that is Oliver Jonas in the goal for the Germans right now. They want to try to just change things up and get a better feel. Mueller looked great in the first period. I don't know if Mueller got hurt, or maybe this was their plan all the way along. I don't know.
Let's go to the studios right now. Bill Pito has a Sam Adams tournament update.
JP, thank you. Finland is 2-0 so far in the tournament. One of the main reasons why they're a great goaltender. Mika Kiprasov, 41 saves in 2 straight shutouts. Brett Hull, a healthy scratch tonight against Slovakia. Team USA 0-2, trying to get a win against Slovakia. You can watch it tonight, ESPN2 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Face-off won now by Germany, looking for their first goal, but Bokun stops that, hangs on. Another face-off coming.
It's a good thing it's warm and humid in this building, or Thomas Bokun would be catching a cold. I mean, nothing's been happening in his end of the ice, and he just got to keep his mind in it.
Bokun has had 2 different games, certainly. This one has been a laugher for him to this point compared to the first 2. Checkmate there at center ice as Vlasic was slowed down. Hecht over the line, delayed penalty here on the Czech Republic. Jonas heads for the Germany bench for the extra skater, and now the call is going to be made. With players in the corner.
Pretty chippy now. Germans are frustrated, and I think they're trying to get themselves back in the game by playing physical and just pumping themselves up emotionally. I don't know if it's going to work or not, as long as they don't end up taking too many penalties because of it, but they will get a chance to go on the power play. Peter Sikora has been nailed for a slashing call, I believe, behind the play. This is not the penalty call right here. It would happen behind the play to number 17. But nonetheless, the Germans certainly need, if not a goal here, something feel good. I mean, some chances, some time with the puck, and some plays made.
The ice this entire second period has been tilted to our right, where the Czechs have scored 4 goals and could have had more. Ludman will carry it to the right side as Germany breaks on the power play, broken up there by Dvorak. Neutral ice, Germany lost it again. Radek Dvorak will clear it, kill some more time. Ludman, number 12 for Germany. Skating out, skating strong to center. Fires it around the boards. Vokun couldn't play it. In the corner, it's poked back to the near side. Spacek and Ludman. Ludman puts it in on goal. Vokun covers it up. There'll be a face-off coming up. ESPN2 is your ticket to more great World Cup hockey. Tonight at 7 p.m. USA wrapping up their preliminary round against Slovakia. Team USA looking for their first win of the tournament, scoring only a couple of goals. They've really struggled so far, but as we know, it's that 4th game that they really have to win. Robert Estes played pretty well in goal.
Yeah, absolutely. How about those Russians? What a job they did. Alexei Kovalev with an unbelievable goal.
We're told that Brett Hull will be a healthy scratch for that game. Head coach Ron Wilson said there'd have to be some changes made because of the 2 losses. Here's Vaborny over the line. Into the corner it goes. Germany back. They're on the power play, but you wouldn't really know it here. Flipped around those boards. Left side, Abstrider. Less than a minute to go on the man advantage. Malik lost it there. Sturm is in there battling. He has some help there in the corner. Abstrider played it out at the point. Misplayed there. Deflected to Leisk. Leisk with a flipper. Kicked that once. Knocked down by Abstrider. Has some help with Sturm. Marco Sturm puts on the brakes. Takes the look up. Goes behind the net with that pass. Centering pass intended for Abstrider. Broken up past Gotch at the point. It's going the other way.
The Germans are really trying to force plays here. There are easier passes to be made. They can get a little bit of motion and commotion going if they play it around the outside, but they're just trying to force things, force plays that aren't there, and it's too easy a turnover for the Czech players.
Out at the point. That was Ehrhoff. Cleared up to center. Vlasic over the line. Crossbow shot saved by Jonas, and he covers it up, getting a face-off, and that's it for the power play. 4-0. Czech Republic leading Germany here in the second period. Welcome back to Prague. Czech Republic dominating Germany right now. 4-0 lead. Second period still with better than 5 minutes to go. On that opposite side of the boards, Marinitz in front for Kopitz. And that one's blocked and taken away. Caberlet trying to flip it back, and he does. Zidlitsky, his goal started it in the second period. 3 more came from the Czech players, and here they come again looking for more. Dumped in. They've already taken out the starting German goaltender. Jonas is in now, replacing Mueller. Hammerlich takes it behind his own net. Near side pass too far for Jágr. Jágr got his first goal of the tournament. Look out there as he lost the edge and goes into the boards. Germany will pick it up. Left side, Lewandowski. Flipped ahead, and the Czechs try to move it out. That's Elias coming back. Spacek with a flip along the boards. Neutral ice. Havlat, lead pass to the breaking man. Quick shot, score Elias! Well, it's all working for the Czechs now.
All the sets of magic hands are starting to go. At high speed, when you can put on the brakes and do the little curl and drag moves that Elias does right here, you just know that they're feeling good about themselves. And Jonas gets over there, but his glove hand wasn't set. He was still sliding, didn't have that catching glove up yet. And when you can get a guy like Patrick Elias, you can snap the puck off incredibly quickly. You better be in good early position if you're the goaltender if you're going to make that save. Jonas wasn't. He should have had that one.
Elias getting his second goal as many games. I asked him about the other night in the comeback. He said, to be honest, Sweden took their foot off the pedal, but we played a great third period. He said it was getting embarrassing for us.
They were worried about getting embarrassed. They knew they had played absolutely lousy against the Finns, and they played pretty lousy for the first 2 periods against the Swedes. So when they jumped out into third and finally got that goal, it's kind of like a cobra. This team reminds me of a snake, and Vladimir Ruzicka have been playing a tune to try and get him out of the basket all the time, and I think they're out of the basket now.
The Trianic pass, he's looking for Hayduk. And now back comes Germany. Across the line, delayed penalty here as the call is made for holding the stick. It's the second one we've had so far. But it's breaking the action. Let's head back to Bill Pito and Barry Melrose in our ESPN studios in Bristol.
All righty, coming up, we're going to talk about Team USA after the second period. What do they have to do to finally win a contest?
Become a team. They got to start out working their opposition. They got to have a good first period. They've been terrible in the first period, both games. They got to give Robert Esche some help. That's the only reason that the Americans have even been close in this game is the goaltending of Esche.
All right, that's coming up. Once they go to break after 2 periods, JP, back to you.
Milan Hayduk sitting out 2 minutes for holding the stick. Germany with their second power play of this period. Last one they really struggled on it. And right now they're down 5-0 here. Rustov played it up. Drop left side boards. Rustov to the left point. Lisk. Rustov took his eye off it for a moment. Into the corner it goes.
Ustorf's been pretty good for the Germans, although there hasn't been any finish. He's been one of the ones that's been a victim of that, or victimizing maybe his teammates. There hasn't been enough finish. He's worked really hard. He's created some things, but then when it comes down to a situation where they might have a scoring chance, the final play's not there.
And that puck comes out of the zone. You're watching the Toyota World Cup of Hockey from Prague. It's a 5-0 lead for the Czech Republic over Germany. They've opened things up here in the second period with all 5 goals coming since Zidlitsky scored his at 2:56. The rout was on. Ehrhoff for Germany on the power play. Big shot knocked away by Volkun. Far boards. 40 seconds or so left on the man advantage. Germany still looking for their first goal. Behind the net, Marinets looks out. Kopitz was camped in front, now off to the side. Marinets off those boards, far side. Germany with it at the circle. Marinets shot wide right through the crease. Out at the left point area, kept in by Ludman to Rustov. Marinets blocked at the point. It's out of the zone. Vinny Prosper with some hard work there.
That's one of those plays I'm talking about, forcing plays. You get yourself into a jam, try to make a pass through somebody, and it doesn't work.
ESPN and ESPN2 bring you more World Cup of Hockey action Tuesday. Quarterfinal round action gets underway. Brian and I start things off at 1 Eastern. We're not sure that where we'll be. Either Helsinki or Stockholm for the number 2 versus number 3 seed in the European playoff. Later on ESPN2, 7 p.m. we'll showcase one of the North American quarterfinals, which will highlight Team USA if they finish either second or third in their pool. It's the World Cup of Hockey, and it's here on ESPN and ESPN2. The travel agents back home have to be very busy. Like we said, we're not sure where we're going. Depends on who finishes first and second in the group, and that'll be determined tomorrow in Helsinki. Finland, who still hasn't given up a goal yet in this tournament after 2 games, will take on Sweden. Around those boards, Spacek kept it alive, paid a price there, hard hit. Czechs keep it in, Havlat now to Hayduk, and it's blocked. Less than a minute to play in a second period dominated by the Czechs. Spacek, lead past the center, it was tipped. Havlat over the line. To the corner, banks it off the boards for Viborny. At the point, Hammerlick to Viborny. Too fancy there, and now it's deflected out of the zone. Blasted back in, around those boards, Havlat first man on it. Feichel couldn't clear it out or make it booze, number 73. We've got another penalty for slashing behind the play. with 27 seconds to play in the period. Germany will sit out again. This will be Leask on that penalty.
Well, the travel has actually been a lot of fun. You're talking about travel and where we're going to go. I mean, this has been like the excellent adventure here. And one of the many things that's fun when you travel is the currency exchange. I know our producer, Mike Baker, went through that yesterday. The doorman was really nice to us here in Prague, and he got us a taxi. And Mike Baker was great, and he put some money in his hand, and the guy just kind of looked at it and chuckled and closed the door. And we figured out later that Mike had given him the equivalent of about 11 cents for doing that. It's probably about 8 more cents than he would have given him in Boston.
At the circle, the Czechs have it. A quick shot on goal is redirected. I'm glad you got that one in. It's dumped down ice.
Why can't I hear anything in my headset all of a sudden, Mike?
Czechs will get a great hand as they leave the ice. What a period. 12-5 with the edge on shots and 5-0 the edge in goals after 2. It's all Czech Republic.
Patrick Elias for the Czech Republic scores his country's 5th goal of the second period, and all of a sudden, after 2 periods, the Czech Republic leads Germany 5-0. Bill Pito and Barry Melrose back in the studio. It's great to have you with us. Barry, after the first period, you said you had to see more passion out of the Czech Republic. They must have been listening.
Okay, is it too hard? And am I expecting too much to see this team play like that every period? They played 1 period like that against the Swedes, scored 3 goals. They played 1 period like this against the Germans, albeit a much lesser talented team. But they didn't play like this in the first period. They come out in the second and just look like the team we expect. The talent, the speed, the plays they can make, good defensively, good offensively, great transition game. I just don't think it's too much to expect them to do it for 60 minutes every night.
They sure explode in period number 2. Elsewhere, Barry, all the talk is about the lack of progress in the labor negotiations. Players and owners ending 3 days of meetings yesterday with no progress to report, on a collision course right now with a lockout. There are a number of old stars in this league. How disastrous will a lockout be for them?
Well, let's mention a few of them. We got Chelios, we got Brian Leach, we got Brett Hull, we've got Eisenman. We got a lot of guys 40 or older that only got 1 or 2 years left. Say, worst case scenario, the strike or lockout or whatever you want to call it goes all year long. It might be Brett Hull's last year. It might be Steve Eisenman's last year. It might be Mary Lemieux's last year. So the older players are the ones that are really going to get affected. I know the union's tight, and I know these guys say, well, other guys stood up for me when I was younger, the older players, and I will stand up for the future stars in the NHL. But it's got to be really be gnawing at these guys that their last year or one of their last 2 years will be sat out in a lockout or a strike situation. So hopefully those older players will be behind the scenes trying to get the players to move, and the owners will be the same way in their group.
The salary cap continues to be the main stumbling block.
The word cap.
In the meantime, if you missed it last night, Team USA falls to 0-2 in the World Cup of Hockey tournament, taking on Russia last night. Dinah Zubris off of Chris Chelios. That made it 1-0. Back comes Team USA, Mike Modano to Keith Tkachuk. But then it was Alexei Kovalov doing what he does best.
One of the most talented men in the world. He toasts the forward there, Tony Amonte, because Tony was back because of Chelios pinching. And right here, Victor Kozlov, just a little icing on the cake. Good shot from far out. Really the only soft goal Esh has given up this series.
So Team USA now 0-2 as they head into the game tonight against Slovakia. You see some of the people who are struggling. Brett Hull has been scratched tonight. Craig Conroy, Eric Weinrich, and Brian Ralston. All 4 of those players taken out of the lineup by Ron Wilson.
Well, look at Hull. He's a goal scorer. He's the 3rd top goal scorer in NHL history. He's always scored big goals in international competition. If he's not scoring goals, Brett is not giving you much else. Dougie Wade, not only is he not getting goals, he's not assisting on goals, and he's a -2. Amonte, again, -3. He's not scoring. This is a guy that scored the biggest goal in American, one of the biggest goals in American history in '96 when they beat Canada. Tony's not getting the job done, and he's being poor defensively. So those 3 guys got to pick it up for the Americans.
You can watch Team USA tonight taking on Slovakia. They'll drop the puck at 7 o'clock Eastern tonight on ESPN2. Back with more after this. The World Cup of Hockey standings to this point. Remember, each country plays 3 games, and that determines the seedings for the next round, the single elimination round, which leads to to the championship. Barry, the top players for you so far?
Well, some of the guys have really been playing well and really grabbed my attention. Robert Esch, this guy has been fantastic. The Americans came in with a question mark in net because of Mike Richter's absence. Esch got the start, and he's been fantastic, especially in the first period. The Americans have not had good first periods. He's given his team a chance to win. They haven't gotten the job done. Mika Kiprusoff is just a carryover from the Stanley Cup Finals, Stanley Cup playoffs. He's been great. Hasn't given up a goal yet. Yes, he played the Germans once, but he also played the mighty Czech team who just scored 5 goals against the Germans in the second period. So Mika Kiprusoff playing great hockey. Leader for the Swedes, who are 2-0, Matt Sundin. Big physical player, plays for Toronto Maple Leafs, captain wherever he goes, setting players up, playing good two-way hockey. The Swedes look very, very good, scoring goals when he gets a chance, but also supplying leadership at both ends of the rink for the Swedes. So those are 3 of the players that I really think are getting the job done. There's many, many more. Canada's got a number of guys. Brodeur's played great goal in Canada's net when they've needed him, which isn't very often. But those 3 guys I really think are the stars right now in the World Cup.
Barry, the quarterfinals begin on Tuesday. It's single elimination. The European quarter, Tuesday, 1 Eastern on ESPN. North American quarter, ESPN 2, 7 p.m. Eastern. Back with more after this.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And Samuel Adams. When you're ready for a distinctive brew, Samuel Adams, always a good decision.
Welcome back. World Cup of Hockey coverage continues from Prague, and what a blowout this is. 5-0, Czech Republic leading. Finally, the Czech Republic team that we expected. They were dominant. 5 goals all in the second period, starting with Zidlitsky.
Yeah, Zidlitsky just let the rocket go. And once they started to feel the flow, then all these talented guys just know how to get open. And the Germans just, the trapdoor just fell open. It's amazing. It was not the same German hockey team in the second period as the one that finished the end of the first period, because they just started playing zone. They tried to play careful. Look at that. They just back up, but they don't really have anybody. They're just trying to react to different Czech players going from place to place, and they're always just a little bit late and not quite enough effort. That was Jaromir Jagr's play where he came late. And then this was Hajduk right through the middle of all that traffic. The quick hands of Hajduk, gets it, controls it, and shoots it more quickly than any one of the 3 of those German players can get to him to check him. That's bad news if you're Germany.
And the Germans already had to make a change in goal, bringing Jonas in to replace Robert Mueller. And he had given up those last couple. Off this face-off, third period's underway. Czech Republic, at the end of this night, should be the 3rd-place team in this European pool. That means that they would take on the 2nd-place team, either Finland or Sweden. And that game will be played tomorrow. That puck is deflected out of play. We should point out that tomorrow night, all Finland needs is a tie, and they would be in first place. Remember that at the end of that second period, Leask was in the box, so the power play with 1:17 still to go on it, and the Czechs are 2 for 3 on the man advantage tonight. Off the draw, they were 0 for 6 at the start of the night after 2 games on the man advantage. Played into the corner by Jagr. Jagr gets it back, works it out right circle area. Near circle, Zidlitsky, dangerous cross-ice pass, and Germany picks it off. Here they come, short-handed. Their only 2 goals of this tournament have come a man down. That's broken up. Czechs could break out. Jagr, breakaway. Jagr shot, in and out. Hit off the inside of the post, did not go over the line and came out. That would have electrified this building. At the circle, Jagr has 1 goal tonight. That should have been his 2nd. Zidlitsky keeps it in around the boards. Zeidenberg will clear.
When a guy of Jaromir Jagr's talent is out there, you have to know where he is and when he's taking off all the time. And he just got on the fly, and by the time the German players saw him, it was just far too late. He just wrung it off the inside of that pipe.
Elias will get his own pass, as it turns out. Bangs it off the boards. He wanted Havlat. Germany will flip it out. Not out of the zone, though. Pressure still on them, and now they'll clear it out. And that should just about do it for the power play. Only seconds left. Leask is up, and now out. So Germany were able to kill it off, even though Jagr nearly scored on that breakaway. Over the line, that's Caberlet. behind the net, trying to come out in front. It's deflected out toward the point. Verborny didn't see it, now does. And Germany will take it over. Ehrhoff's pass out. Booz to Lewandowski, that's wide. And the Czechs spring into action the other way over the line. That's Havlat going into the middle, looking, couldn't get the shot off, and Jonas covers it up. Martin Havlat showing some good speed there.
Tremendously skilled player. He likes to go on the rush too. That was just strictly a one-on-one try, a little bit of river hockey there, and he very nearly pulled it off. He ended up getting the shot on net. And Oliver Jonas, the young goaltender in for the Germans right now. But when he was 15, there's Jonas up against Jaromir Jagr, where he did get a piece of that one, I think, as it ripped off the goalpost.
Played in front, Vlasic, and it's scooped up by Jonas.
At age 15, this young man went to Breck High School in Minneapolis. And then he went on and went to school at Harvard. He's a physics major, the German goaltender on the left, a physics major from Harvard. He was also first-team All-Star in the ECAC in 2000, 2001. He's going to need a little physics and some algebra to stop these Czechs.
And a little luck would be helpful as well, as Ludman takes it behind the net. Third period with over 17.5 to play in it. It's all Czech Republic here. A 5-0 lead. Sikora broke the stick and goes to the bench for another. Into the corner. Vokun leaves it for Hammerleck. Here is Roman Hammerleck up ice. Vlasic across the line, and jumping in was the speedy Sikora. Offside, Czech Republic.
Well, the Czechs are going to go on and win this game. This will be the first win in the last 9 Canada Cup / World Cup games. They went 8 straight losses, the Czechs did. Now they're finally going to win a game. I mean, that's very remarkable. Obviously, they haven't had any success in this tournament when they've had tons of success in World Championships and, in fact, in the Olympics as well. But something about this tournament has just been their nemesis. But finally, they're going to get a win. There's still a long ways to go, but it doesn't look like much danger of the Germans coming back and scoring 5 quick ones.
Well, Germany beat them, remember, 7-1 in that World Cup of Hockey disaster for the Czechs in '86, and then in '98. It was the year that they won the Olympic gold, Czech Republic.
And there are guys certainly on this Czech team that were part of that 7-1 shellacking.
Yeah,
so
96.
Excuse me.
I think I said 86. 96.
Yeah. And I don't think the Czechs are going to back off the gas pedal here. I think they'd like to jam a couple more in against the Germans, because what happened to them, the feeling that happened to them when the Germans just undid them in that 7-1 game. We mentioned that for the Germans. The German coach said that was a game for 100 years for us, beating the Czechs like that and knocking them out of the medal round.
Memories. Vokun leaves it off for Zidlitsky in the corner. Hecht couldn't find it. Hayduk can. Dropping it back. Spacek. Up ice. Neutral ice now. The rush by Dvorak. Into the corner it goes. Radek Dvorak taken down. Picked up. Kept alive by the Czechs. Spacek's shot steered away by Jonas, and it hits the netting. Out of play. ESPN and its family of networks is proud to offer coverage of all 19 games in this World Cup of Hockey this holiday weekend. 4 games broadcast live online during our free preview of ESPNbroadband.com, including Russia versus Canada, Saturday night at 7 Eastern Time. Log on to ESPNbroadband.com this Labor Day weekend. Along the far boards, Germany will take off with it. Just over 16 minutes to play in this third and final period. Around the boards, Germany looking. Lewandowski stopped, and it's deflected in. May have been touched by Booz. I believe he'll get credit for the goal. That's their first goal of this tournament, other than 2 shorthanded goals.
A bit of a breakdown here for the Czechs. Look at all the red jerseys over on one side. Everybody wants the puck. Everybody wants to get going up the ice. All the puck watchers, nobody from behind, and then Booz did a terrific job. That shot was not even on net, but 73 White gave it a perfect tip. It changed direction, knocked it down, and got on the inside between, I think, the glove hand and the leg of Vokun. Not much Vokun to get there. He got no help in front.
Germany's first equal-strength goal in 3 games. 5-1 is your score now. Caberlet takes it behind the net. He wears number 15. That's in honor of his dad, František, who used to be a national team player as well. That was his number. Up ice Eliash. Oh, he gets hammered there by Gotch. Into the corner. Lease takes his man out. Czechs play it in front off Jonas. And Lease will take off with it. On the left side, just a dump in from Lewandowski. Picked up there by the Czechs. They'll play it off the near boards. Germany keeping it in. Kathan along those boards. Klaus Kathan try to send it to the point. Eliash gets it. To Verborny. Verborny try to take it around Lewandowski. He's got to be near the end of his shift here. He's been out a while. Off a block. Vlasic try to bring it up. Zeidenberg with it. Now Lewandowski goes to the bench. This is deflected. Kreutzer looked for it. He couldn't get to it. It's back into the neutral zone for Retzer. He backhands it into the Czech zone.
You know, the Finns and the Swedes are just watching this game thinking, okay, Germany, we just want you to knock this Czech team down a little bit. We don't want them, because neither one of us knows who they're going to play, the Czechs. It could be the Finns, could be the Swedes. They're thinking, well, we don't want to be playing these guys full throttle, because that's when they're at their best.
Over the line. Czechs have it. They've got a 5-1 lead here in the third. Dopita plays it around the board. Sikora gets it. Peter Sikora centers in the slot. Blastic shot saved by Jonas. Picked up by Germany. Nice setup by Sikora. And that one's deflected out. Out of play. 5-1. Czechs continue to lead here with 14-18 to go here in this third period.
That last play wouldn't have happened in the first period, because you see how the Germans are just in between. They don't have people tied up. They've lost that physical, nasty edge that they had in the first period. That puck would not have gotten through, and that shot would not have happened in the first, but it's been happening in the second and here in the third.
Behind the net, cleared around the boards. Kopitz for Germany. Lost it there. The Caberlet pass across. Thomas Caberlet gets it back. His pass off a stick, deflects in. On the off wing, Dvorak. Lost it there to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff flipping it. Off a deflection. Czechs will turn it back over the line. Chayanek fires. That's going upstairs off the netting. There's a break in the action. Czechs continue to dominate here with a 5-1 third period lead. Welcome back, everyone. The World Cup of Hockey coverage continues from Prague in the Czech Republic. It's a 5-1 Czech lead over Germany. Shutout is gone for Vokun, thanks to the goal by Tino Buz. This is Hajduk at the near circle. He has one goal tonight in front, and Jonas will cover it up and hang on for a face-off.
That was Chayanek, I believe, who got that redirection. Peter Chayanek has played very well for this team. Kind of a forgotten guy. You take a look at how he gets a little bit of a stick on it there. But Chayanek's a good two-way player from the St. Louis Blues. There have been criticism from the Czech players, even themselves, that they didn't maybe get as much balance on this Czech team as they should have. In other words, they have too many players all the same. And there were guys' names like Václav Varada and Martin Irak that Patrick Eliash talked about this morning. He said, I think those two guys would have been great additions to this team, because it would have given us some balance and some guys that, you know, with some grit and play in different situations, whereas we basically have so many guys that are skilled players, and you don't just automatically take the top, you know, 20 skilled players and put a team together. That doesn't always work. I think Canada and Sweden have proven that point. They have put together teams that have different elements and feel like they can play different games.
Yager's shot. He's looking for his second goal. Czechs holding it. Quick shot went wide by Malik. Ustorf will clear it.
Marek Malik talked this morning about, yeah, he's a big man. He's like 6'5", 6'6". He said, I'm not quite sharp yet. That 5 or 6 feet immediately in front of me, the quickness. I don't quite have that in-season quickness I would like. So usually you go to training camp at this time and you gear up for game 1 of the regular season. Here we're starting in this tournament with the best players in the world. And he said, I feel like I'm struggling sometimes.
Czechs play it out at the point. Eliash to Spacek. Martin Havlat's pass to Verborny. In front, Eliash couldn't control the rolling puck. Germany will take it near wing. Looking to break out. Kathan's pass deflects over. Vokun out of the net to Zidlitsky. His goal started in the second period. Then the rout was on. It's 5-1. Czechs leading here in a game that will mean third place in the playoff pool.
It's going to be interesting to see, too, what the lineup's going to be for the Czechs when they get into that fourth and final game, too, JP, because they look really good here. I think the lineup changes and the line changes that the Czechs have made, the combinations are better than they were in the first 2 games. Will they make changes? Will they sit out the same guys? Will they mess with the lines when it's gone so well? I don't know. That David Vaborny line with Elias and Havlat, I think, have been really good. Splitting up Elias and Sikora has worked well. Sikora has played better. Elias has played better. Those types of things are good. Do you mess with it, or you stay with what you have for the next game?
Vlasic looks to come out in front. There'll be a lot of second guessing if they change and they win this. Set it by Vlasic. Score, Havlat.
That's just a little bit of mental fatigue there, and the Germans just get caught napping. The puck off the end wall, the goaltender, Jonas, gets turned around completely backwards. He almost looks tired. I mean, he's so late reacting, as are the defense and the forwards coming back to help, that Havlat gets a slam dunk from the edge of the ocean. I mean, he could have done that one with his eyes closed.
Well, for all his hard work the last couple of games, Havlat, you could say, deserved one.
Yes.
He gets it here.
You bet.
So it's a 6-1 game. The 5-goal lead has been returned to the Czechs. This is going for an icing call as the touch is made. ESPN2 is your ticket to more great World Cup hockey tonight at 7 p.m. USA wrapping up their preliminary round action against Slovakia, looking for their first win. We told you about the changes that they were making. A lot of healthy, good scratches on the part of the USA, including Brett Hull. World Cup of hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN2. Later tonight, that's at 7 p.m.
And now those Russians definitely with some momentum, too. I think when you score goals, world-class goals, the way the Russians did in their last game, you take that kind of momentum forward, too. That was a big win for them. They love to beat the U.S. And those Russians are hard to figure out. They're an excellent team. They had a lot of no-shows, but now that they've won that game, you got to watch out for them, too.
Oh. You and I haven't seen the Kovalev video, at least I don't think you have, and we were told that's probably the goal of the tournament.
Yeah, I wish we had. As we take a look at this deflection there, a good glove save by Jonas. That one was deflected down. Alexei Kovalev, one of the most talented guys on the planet, can stick handle in a phone booth. I have not seen the replay, but all the players are talking about it here because some have seen it and some haven't. We've even read write-ups on it, and it's interesting. And the players here are so thirsty for information about what's going on the North American side, and I suspect the same thing is going on over here about the games, over there rather, about the games here.
They are trying to keep track of it as best they can, and the games were televised here late last night.
Well, they've got, friends and teammates that are playing on the other side, teammates on their NHL teams that are over playing in North America and vice versa here. So yeah, there's a keen interest. Everybody wants to know details and what happened and who did what and how did this guy play.
Caberlet neutral ice with a flip. Under 10 minutes to go. Third period. Czech Republic playing at home, leading Germany 6-1 thanks to a dominating second period. Gotch will take it off the boards, lost it there. Hajduk keeps it in. Milan Hajduk into the corner with that pass. Return pass was blocked. Germany tried to clear it. That's deflected out of play. It is the Czech Republic on top of Germany here in the third period. 6-1 is your score. Welcome back to Prague. Face-off left side of Jonas in goal for Germany. He's the second goaltender. They made the change in the second period when Mueller was pulled. Puck dumped the other way. Roman Hamrlik is on the chase. Takes it behind Vokun. The pass ahead to Yager. Yager's best game by far in this tournament. Broken up there by Germany. They will recover. Zeidenberg plays it around the boards for Ludman. And Germany will break out, gaining the center line, and now across the Czech line. The return pass steered away by Vokun.
It's important for the Yager line to get production. I mean, the team is winning handily, obviously, but you want to get the big guy going, and he needs points to be recognized, and he thrives on that. So you got Yager and Straka and Vinny Prospal, who played pretty well again. I thought they played well in stretches in the last game, but here at least they're getting some production. Vinny Prospel, I talked to him the other day, and he said, I asked him about Anaheim, and he said, let's just say that I didn't fit their style. And Prospel's looking forward to going back to Tampa, but he's not quite sure what he's going to face in Tampa either. He said, I hope I get a chance to play like 2 years ago when Vinny Prospel had, 22 goals and 79 points. But he's going to a Stanley Cup championship team, so he's going to have to earn his way into that team again.
Cavalier is back on it. Goes behind Bo Kuhn. And now starts out on the left side. Less than 8 minutes to go in this hockey game. The drop pass, Havlat leaves it. Viborny, saved by Jonas. And he covers it. Face-off coming up.
Tough for a young guy when you got players like this coming through. Look at the German players just getting crossed up. Finally, they recover at the last minute. Even when they do. Oh, now we got some pushing and shoving going on here big time. It is getting a little ugly. We showed signs of that in the second period, then it went away for a while. But it's about pride here, too. These German players have a lot of pride. Everybody does. And they don't like their nose getting rubbed in it. But again, remember, we brought it up before. 96, the Germans beat the Czechs 7-1 to knock them out of the medal round, and it was ugly then. So payback is painful.
Penalty box doors open on both sides. Elias is already sitting on his side, and now Kathan will sit out for Germany. It all happened after the puck was frozen by Jonas.
At some point, I think he's just looking up for some hope there. I mean, the Germans just needed some hope. They had hope in the first period, and they played with hope, and they played a lot better. And then it came unraveled so quickly when Patrick Elias and his teammates started getting it ramped up, and the Germans couldn't get it back.
As they sort it all out, ESPN and ESPN2 remind you that they'll be bringing you more World Cup of Hockey action Tuesday. Quarterfinal round action getting underway. We'll start things off 1 Eastern in either Helsinki or Stockholm for the number 2 versus number 3 seed, and later on ESPN2 at 7, a North American quarterfinal, which will highlight Team USA if they finish second or third in their pool. The World Cup of Hockey here on ESPN and ESPN2. So tomorrow night, basically, Brian, if Finland were to tie or win that game, they win the group. That means you and I are going somewhere else. Sweden versus the Czechs.
Yeah, Finland has a chance to win this. It's going to be a great matchup tomorrow. The Swedes and the Finns is an unbelievable rivalry. Everybody can't wait for it to happen. Yeah, the Finns just need a tie in order to finish first in this side of it.
The penalties being announced. They've only got it on one side of the board, so there's an extra penalty on Elias for high sticking as the puck is dumped in. Germany on the power play. Kopitz takes the hit behind the net. Flipped around the boards. Germany kept it in. That whistles wide. At the circle, it's Kopitz. Into the corner. The return pass is picked off. And just smartly dumped down the length of the ice by Marty Straka.
This building is so loud. I can't get over it because there are so many empty seats. All the expensive seats at both ends, there's nobody in them. And we mentioned, still up top, you look, and you see the people up in the rafters all the way to the roof. All those seats are filled. So obviously the difference in the prices of the tickets was astronomical, because those people, the real fans, came to watch this game, and the expensive tickets is just empty. And still, they're making a lot of noise. They're having fun. Of course, their team is ahead 6-1 and has been in the lead the entire game, so that always helps. I'd love to see this building completely full.
Yeah,
man.
Retzer with it. Germany looking man advantage for about another 40 or so seconds. Kreutzer backhands it out to the point. Earhoff shot hits something in front and now cleared to the near boards. Czechs break. Now they'll just hold it. Dvorak more content to kill the clock. And his team wants to change up anyway.
This building apparently was built in 18 months, and it cost almost as much as the Staples Center in Los Angeles. That's a pretty good pile of cash.
Beautiful building. Just opened up in April. World Ice Hockey Championships held here in Canada were the winners. In the corner. Flipped around the boards. Milan Hejduk. Could be a 2-on-1. Viborny's over the line at the circle. The return pass tipped wide. off the stick of Zidlitsky.
I really like what David Viborny does for this Czech team. He's got excellent speed. He's in the play. He knows how to make plays happen. And you know, the last couple of years in Columbus, David Viborny's been really good. He's in the shadow of Rick Nash a lot. And Nash is a great young player. 2 years there has really learned to dominate. But Viborny, very quietly, does his job. A couple of 20-goal seasons. I think he had 53 points last year. David Viborny makes a big impact on this Czech team.
That Spacek shot way up and out of play. Face-off coming up. Just over 5 minutes to play. It's all Czech Republic here. Czech Republic leading Germany. It's a 6-1 game. All Czech Republic, 2 power play goals in that second period. And they had scored 3 goals in a matter of 2 minutes and 56 seconds. They were explosive. Looking for more with Jágr. Nice move there, and then Fan as he tried to come around. That flip is deflected to the near boards for Spacek. Straka behind the net. Bounced off a Czech. At the circle. Prospal shot. Save. No rebound for Jágr.
Robert Liesk, a young defenseman for Germany, has had his hands full trying to deal with Jágr a lot tonight. Liesk is actually born and raised in North York in Toronto, but has been playing in the German leagues for about 8 years. But he said it had been since 1996 that he played on the small ice surface and really had to get used to it again. It's a big difference, folks. When you go, the international ice surface is 15 feet wider. That's a tremendous difference and changes the whole feel of where you are on the ice.
Players getting close again. That's Vinny Prospal.
Really talented guy, especially on the power play. I mean, he really distributes the puck well. He's an excellent fit for Straka and Jágr. I really like this line.
The line has had a lot of jump tonight.
Yeah, he's not always hugely noticeable because a lot of times when Jágr's the one who's circling back somewhere and getting all the speed and people are starting to watch him, it's Prospal who's making the little plays and the give and goes in order to get the puck eventually to Jágr at the right time.
On the dump in by Germany, 6 different players have scored goals tonight for the Czech Republic. At center ice, they are broken up. Abstrider over the line by himself, though. Here's Caberlet. Strong game for him on defense. Left side, Sikora busting over the line. Big slapper is deflected upstairs off the netting. There'll be a face-off coming up with 4:05 to go.
Peter Sikora talked about the frustration of playing in Anaheim last year. I mean, 2 years ago, he had just been freshly traded from New Jersey to Anaheim. And they go game 7 against Jersey and they lose. The Devils won the cup 2 years ago. And then last year, Anaheim just fell apart. He said, you know, we just never, ever, all year long, ever even got one line that could get something going consistently night after night. It was such a long year. He's an offensively talented guy. And when there's no offense, I mentioned some of his comments at the beginning of this game. The Czechs were struggling at the beginning of this tournament, and Peter Sikora was one of the guys who openly said, you know, this game is just going the wrong way for me. I want the puck. We got to play some offense. And he was frustrated, but he's played really well here tonight.
You're seeing some offense tonight from these guys and some smiles for the first time from the Czechs in this tournament. There's some grumpy guys the last few days not winning, and with all the guys that were sat out as well. Kopit sends it in. Stopped by Vokun. Around the boards for Caberlet. Up ice, off a deflection. This one comes back the other way. Dvorak plays it over. Kicked ahead. Radek Dvorak a second try. Lead pass to Milan Hajduk into the corner. Gotch will try to check into him, and he does. That's a hard hit along the boards. That has the whistles going.
Gotch has played tough the entire game. I mean, he's had a lot of spunk and a lot of heart. It's been a long, tough game back there on defense. Sasha Gotch has done a terrific job. Oh, Hecht
beating Vokun, who's had no real action on that side most of the night. Jochen Hecht will score his first goal of the tournament.
And I think you can tell that Vokun is, you know, just hasn't had any action. Look at him look back and go,
short
you're
side.
Kidding me. That went in. But he's had so few shots, he's just not in the game anymore. He was completely cold in the middle of it. I don't think it's much better right now. Watch his reaction here. He goes, oh, man, was I off the angle there.
Woo. Short side goal. Hecht gets it. 6-2 is your score. But the Czech Republic will be the third-place team. I'll tell you what, if you're Sweden or Finland, you got to be wondering about this matchup, 2 versus 3. you'll have home ice advantage, but the Czechs are coming off their best game. Off a deflection in the slot. That one goes wide of Okun. Sent around the boards the other way. Left there by Viborny to Hammerlich. So Hecht with that goal. Germany's put 2 on, but they've given up 6 tonight. Elias off those boards into the corner. Comes free to Ehrhoff. Backhand flip. And then the dump in by Germany. Kathan was going to go for it, but he's going off on a line change now. Czechs playing left side to Havlat with 1 goal tonight. Havlat dumps in. Germany back, straight ahead. Zeidenberg, long shot steered away by Okun. Picked up by Caberlet. Thomas Caberlet at his own circle, lead pass. Jágr trying to split. Jágr's in, backhand, crossbow, go!
This one is just an oil painting because it's hard work, and it just shows you what talent like this can do. Jágr getting inside body position and putting the hard work in, making the backhand pass. Look at that. He hears the yell. There's Vinny Prospel. Prospel says, no, I'm not putting it in that side. I'm putting it in this side.
And Jágr's dealing with a rolling puck besides that he had to get back there. That's the 47th shot tonight for the Czech Republic squad.
The Czechs have worn out both the German goalies.
Yeah. 7 goals by 7 different players for the Czech Republic, but clearly the best game for Jágr and that line, and others too. Kopitz in deep. Left there for Sturm. Marco Sturm coming around. Can't get the shot. Now he does. It hit a skate in front. Kopitz behind the net. Less than a minute to go in this hockey game. Czech Republic winning this one in style with an exclamation point. 7-2 right now. Backhand, Jágr couldn't get a shot off there, and Germany will take it. Martinez.
And Jágr and Prospel still out there in the dying seconds. They want to keep it going because they want Jágr as full of himself as possible going into that last game. We talked about Peter Forsberg being a rock star in Stockholm. Jágr is the same thing here.
In front of tip and a save by Jonas, and he will cover up. The Czech Republic team that everyone feared showed up tonight.
And it's the little parts of their offensive game that start to become really impressive. Jágr making that power move to make the play on the last goal. The Hejduk goal that was good passing in tight, in traffic. That's the kind of stuff that you want to see, because when this Czech team plays against the Finns or the Swedes, it's going to be tight and tough and physical and all that. So you've got to have those types of plays working.
This game is now over. The Czechs win it 7-2, and if you're Sweden or Finland, you can't be looking forward to playing this Czech team.
You better be ready, because when you play this Czech team, this is a different Czech team now. They have gotten control of themselves, and there's going to be hell to pay next time you play them.
What a game this was. The Czech Republic defeat Germany by the score of 7-2. Stay tuned for more great action from the Toyota World Cup of Hockey coming away at 7 tonight on ESPN2. Team USA versus Slovakia. Today's game has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Up next, 2004 World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. For Brian Engblom and our crew, I'm JP Della Camera. Good afternoon from Prague. Let's head back to Bill Pito in our ESPN studios.
JP, thank you. So after the first period, Barry, you talked about how listless the Czech Republic was. Well, since you said those things, they scored 7 goals.
Well, listless isn't the right word. I said they had no passion. They haven't had any passion really the whole tournament. But finally, people got to see how talented this team is. And you saw Jágr making plays, Prospel making plays. Elias scored a goal. Zidlitsky is turning into a great young defenseman for Nashville and certainly on the world stage. But this team doesn't do it all the time. Brian's talking about, yeah, Swedes and Finns should be scared of playing this Czech team, but you don't know which Czech team is going to show up. They played today at home. Let's see them go into Sweden. Let's see them go into Finland, play one of those teams head-to-head on the road, and see if they'll continue to play this hard. Talent, they're as talented as a team as there is in the world. Character, passion, they haven't shown it consistently for a long period of time in international hockey.
But they get the win here. They're first, and now they're done in the qualifying round robin. They're 1-2, Germany 0-3. And as you mentioned, Finland and Sweden will play each other, and the loser will take on the Czech Republic later on.
Well, the whole thing was to play Germany in the first round. Everyone knew Germany was a weak sister. On the North American pool, Canada 2-0. Russia looked great last night against the United States team. Canada won't be taking them lightly, I can guarantee you, when they play them next.
Speaking of Russia and the USA, if you missed it last night, Dinah Zubris off the skate of Chris Chelios. 1-0 Russia. Mike Modano, though, Keith Kachuk, but Alexei Kovalev with perhaps the move of the night.
Move of the night, prettiest goal of the tournament as far as I'm concerned. Only a few men in the world can make that play. Alexei Kovalev's one of them.
And then it was Viktor Kozlov. Russia beats the United States 3-1. So Team USA 0-2 as they get ready to take on Slovakia tonight. ESPN 2 at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And as we've been talking about all afternoon, a major shakeup in the Team USA lineup as Ron Wilson scratches Brett Hull, Eric Weinrich, Craig Conroy, and also Brian Ralston.
Well, the three guys I mentioned, Weinrich, Ralston, and Conroy, are role players. That's not a big deal. That's like the coach saying big changes are coming, and they sit out the fourth line. But the benching of Brett Hull, the scratching of Brett Hull, that sends a message to this team. And Ronnie Wilson could have sat out a bunch of other guys, Waite, players like that, Amonte. Those guys haven't been playing well for the United States either, but he can't sit them all out. But I really think symbolically, sitting Brett Hull out, scratching him, really sends a message to this America team that you guys are not playing well enough offensively. You guys got to attack more. You got to play harder. And hopefully this will send a message to Brett Hull that when the medal round starts and the single elimination starts, that Brett Hull will be a motivated, angry player ready to play for the American team.
Robert Esch has been good in net.
Awesome. Robert Esch has been by far the Americans' best player. The perceived weakness of the American team has turned into the major strength, and that's goaltending. As far as I'm concerned, Esch has been the best goaltender of the World Cup so far because he's seen the most rubber, especially in the first period. Make sure tonight the Americans are ready to play in the first period. They were terrible against Canada in the first period, and they were terrible against the Russians last night in the first period.
So you can watch the fact that Slovakia and the Team USA are playing tonight. ESPN 2 at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be here for you in between periods, and you can watch it at 7 o'clock Eastern again tonight. That is over on ESPN 2. Thanks for watching today as the Czech Republic scores 5 goals in period number 2. They add 2 more in period number 3. They beat Germany with 7 goals, and they get their first win of the tournament. Germany is now 0-3.
But they played hard every game, and I think that's all Germany was counting on in this competition.
That'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. The World Series of Poker is coming up.